The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative. On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
What are two specific examples of federal policies that they could change with their votes, given that we're talking about four socialists?
No, I think what we can see in their candidacies and what we will see in their leadership is a commitment to humanity. And when it comes to domestic policy, I know that for many of them, one clear area of concern is the cruelty of ICE. You've heard from a number of not just the candidates who became congresspeople last night, but rather candidates across the country, the need to abolish ICE. It's something that I've echoed myself.
I have stood next to Daria Lisa and I have said, our next congresswoman. And I've said these words in the way that many of us will say, inshallah. In the beginning, we hope, but we don't know how close it is. And the closer and closer we get to the day, the more that we believe. And now that language of hope is a language of fact.
Yeah, inshallah. And happy inshallah to you, my friends from all over. Welcome to the Wednesday edition of Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour, the fastest hour in American media. It was a big day in New York and in other places. Mondami's communists / socialists, the Democrat Socialists of America, are prevailing again in New York, have prevailed. And congratulations to them. Also a big day in politics. You've got federal judges once again inserting themselves in the executive branch and trying to do all they can to help Democrats, their party, destroy anything resembling law enforcement when it comes to dealing with illegal immigrants and voting. We'll take that. Donald Trump went to Capitol Hill, a yelling match with some Republican senators. That a big deal. Princess Diana is going to join us tomorrow, by the way. I'm giving advance notice now so that you'll be here then. We will cover as much of it as we can. This story with the Democrats will go on for days, if not for months. Let's get into that. Before we do that, before we do any of that, I want to just give an accolade to a dear broadcaster, a friend of mine, who works at our flagship station in New York City. His name is Sid Rosenberg. You've heard me talk about Sid Rosenberg before. Ladies and gentlemen, Sid Rosenberg is, in broadcast terms, a miracle. He has defied what all the experts said could happen on radio and is the most listened to radio broadcaster in New York, which means in the country, in the mornings. Sid has an audience because of his talent and those that he's assembled to help with his program and to assist him. Sid has become the most amazing broadcaster in the New York radio market, bar none. Bar none. Sid Rosenberg has been inducted into the New York Radio's Hall of Fame and to Broadcasting's Hall of Fame. It's not just radio, but he is among now recognized as one of the most amazing broadcasters in the country. I hope that he actually is inducted into the National Broadcasters Hall of Fame. But the New York State Broadcasters Association informed him that he was inducted into the New York State Broadcasters Association Hall of Fame for the year 2026. Who are his contemporaries in this? Who does he stand beside? Names. such as Walter Cronkite, Barbara Walters, Mike Wallace, Charles Osgood, the amazing Charles Osgood, William Paley, who began CBS networks and in many ways began the electronic media in this country. Others that some of you know, like Regis Philbin, and so many more. Sid has been successful in so many radio stations, and Sid and Friends in the Morning is one of the most successful radio programs ever. Sid has also been recognized for his charity work. And I would like to recognize him as not only a great broadcaster, but a great man, a great friend, a friend who I love dearly, who to me represents the very best that there can ever be in terms of what it means to be a broadcast professional and to maintain your humanity and to maintain the love that you have for your family, for your friends, the respect that he gives his profession. He is, to me, I burst with pride for Sid. Sid Rosenberg, congratulations, inducted into the Broadcasters Hall of Fame in New York. My hope is that I live to see Sid Rosenberg inducted into the Broadcasters Hall of Fame, the National Broadcasters Hall of Fame. He deserves every accolade that is coming his way. Now, back to the politics of the day. It is astounding who has actually won election in New York. We have some of them. It's also great to see some of the people who lost. On everything that I've heard from him, how did he make it to Congress? I don't know. However, he lost, but the guy taking his place is wow. Brad Lander, wow. And then also you have Daria-Lisa Avila Xavier and Abercrois. I can't wait to speak with Princess Diana about some of these people. Let's listen to some of the candidates who won yesterday. Let's start cut 8 with Daria-Lisa Avila Xavier. Cut 8. This is one of the candidates, Mondami's candidates.
Tackle the issue of permanent exclusion for many reasons. As folks who operate within the Black queer feminist lens, we know that the most marginalized should always be at the center of our work. And we see this as part of our ongoing work to end broken windows policing, which criminalizes poor communities of color for merely existing. Trying to get to work on time is an arrestable offense when you don't have $2.75. And it's no coincidence that over 90%...
Stop! Hold it. Trying to get to work on time is an arrestable offense. If you don't have $2.75, trying to get to work on time is an arrestable offense. Why? Because you're going to jump over the turnstiles. You're going to cheat. You're going to demand that everybody else support your bus rides, and if you get arrested for it, it's arrestable. If you dare break the law. And this is one of the things she says, operating from within the Black queer feminist lens, trying to get to work on time is an arrestable offense. Let's continue with her.
Fair beating arrests are of Black and brown New Yorkers. Broken windows policing specifically targets communities like ours to advance this notion that greater surveillance and intimidation means that our communities are somehow safer. That if you are tough on small crimes like fair beating or marijuana possession, then the rates of larger and more violent crimes will naturally go down. We know that's not the case, and it is simply a tool of mass incarceration and gentrification.
Okay, stop it. We know that is the case. We know because we've had experience at it. We had Rudy Giuliani, who said we're going to focus on the quality of life crimes, and as a result, all the crime will go. It happened. And it's not the first time it happens. It works every time it's tried. But according to her, to this woman, Daryl Lisa Aliva Xavier, who operates within the black queer feminist lens, marginalized communities dealing with window dressing policing or broken window dressing policing, whatever it is, what she said. It's hard for me to even understand this stuff when she starts speaking. The first time I heard I'm like, what the hell is she talking about? And then once you listen to it and take it slowly, it's like, oh, broken window dressing policing. So increased surveillance. Surveilling criminals is bad. That doesn't work. Arresting people for doing things like breaking the law doesn't work because it's picking on black people, according to this woman. Let's continue with her. Oh, that was it. Okay. We have another one from her. Why she converted to Islam. Cut 7. And I'm not going to criticize this because people's spiritual views are their spiritual views. And they should feel very content with them. But I just wanted you to hear her explanation as to why she converted. Okay.
I know that we all deserve a representative who isn't bought by AIPAC. I'm also the only Muslim in my family. I reverted 3 years ago. Actually, the friend who pushed me to do it asked me, why have you fasted for 4 years and yet you haven't taken your shahada? She's here today. And when she asked me that, I thought, that is a great question. And I thought for myself why I hadn't taken the step yet. But it was seeing how all of my friends who were showing up to organizing, who are Muslim, were showing up in the space, and the grace and love and passion that they had in these spaces of social justice, that really pushed me to join the faith. And wanting to make sure that we are reflecting that I'm reflecting that in every space that I'm in, and that, inshallah, if we make it to Congress, that we're reflecting that in the halls of power as well. Okay.
Aside from the comment on AIPAC, which is the enemy of the Democrat Party now, AIPAC is officially in New York City the enemy. So aside from that, and of course their support of places like this coffee shop in Brooklyn, it's a chain. They have like 7 to 9 of them around the city, and no Jews allowed. They might as well put no Juden. No Juden. They ought to just put the Star of David with the cross to it, because we are looking at what took place in Germany in the 1930s, happening to a much lesser degree so far in New York City. Which is, I never thought I would see this day, but this day has happened. We have to take a break. James Golden, Snerdley with you here, fastest hour in American media. Don't go away.
The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative. On the Red Apple Podcast Network. The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative. On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
The fastest hour in American media. And we have a special guest, I am told, on the phone. I know not who. Hello to my special guest.
Well, hello, Bo Snerdley, coming to you live from the airport in Tel Aviv, Israel. Calling you to tell you that I'm sitting here getting ready to get on my flight, and my phone is blowing up from all these loyal listeners in New York who love you. And my phone literally blowing up. They're saying, you should hear Bo Snerdley right now, Sydney. You'll get all emotional. So I didn't hear it. I'm not going to lie. I'm in the airport and ready to board the flight. But my phone has not stopped buzzing because of you. I wanted to call you personally from the airport in Tel Aviv and tell you how much I love you. And thank you so much.
Sid, I love you. I have tears. I am so proud of you, Sid. Sid, not only have you done what was considered impossible in radio, at this stage of where radio is at, you have proved that it is not impossible. to actually amass the size and scope of audience that you have in the world's biggest market. You have done it, and you do it consistently, but the way you do it, with such fearlessness, with such a devotion to truth, with such a good humor about you, and just with the broadcasting professionalism that is unbelievably and unmatched. And that is why the New York State broadcasters have put you in a league of rarefied broadcasters in the Hall of Fame. We are all so proud of you. I want to see you in the National Hall of Fame, by the way, and I hope I live to see that. But I can't think of a person that deserves it more, Sidney. You are amazing.
Well, thank you. Well, thank you for all that. You're making me cry now. I do wish my dad was here this week to see this, but the National Hall of Fame, that's something that's already been talked about, but I guess one step at a time. Bo, I'll tell you, it was funny. Yesterday, I was at this amazing policy, the summit conference. That's where I came to Israel for the second straight year, JNS.org, who really is a leader in Israel when it comes to news on Israel, on the economy, on the war, on Hezbollah, on Iran, all of it. And I spoke twice. I was only supposed to speak once, but Bibi Netanyahu was late the first night, Sunday night, so they had me and Mark Levin step in and
Sid,
do an hour.
You have to stay there because we got to go to a hard break. Stay there. I want to hear more about this, and I want to talk with you briefly about the elections that happened in New York. Don't go away, Sidney, unless, of course, you have to get on the flight between now and then. James Golden. Sid is here with us. What a treat.
The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network. The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
And we are so honored to have Sid Rosenberg with us. Sid and friends, the Hall of Fame Sid.
It's funny to hear that, I got to tell you. It's funny, and the point I was trying to make before you had to run to break was many people came up to me here in Israel and said to me, how does it feel to be the next Rush Limbaugh? I said, oh, slow down. Certainly, I would put my career up against most radio guys. I really would. But Rush Limbaugh, of course, is the very, very top of the mountain. So I felt a little uncomfortable. But I will tell you, Bo, you're the guy that worked closely with him for so many years, and you're great like he is today. I heard that a bunch of times the last couple of days, and to me, in this business, in our business, that's the biggest compliment you can get.
Amen to that, Sidney. Amen. Now, Sid, I have to ask you, this conference you were at, with all that's going on with Iran, you probably know Donald Trump today met with Republican senators. They're ticked off as can be. This meaningless resolution that they came up with, the War Powers resolution on Iran. It's the four, Rand Paul, what's his face? Anyway, that doesn't matter. Four of them, Murkowski, Collins. What is your take with where we are with Iran right now and where things should go?
Well, nowhere. Yeah, I mean, not because of the efforts of President Trump. He's doing the best he can. I love the president, and he's trying to do the best he can. But we've got no deal in place. You've got this memorandum of understanding, which nobody seems to understand. And he's got people in Congress and the Senate, like Thomas Massie, like Rand Paul, these other people that are trying to take away his powers to actually do what he needs to do to rid the world of this terrorist country, Iran, and make not just Israel, but America and the world a safer place. So President Trump's heart is in the right place. But the truth is, as you know, Bo, you can't deal with these people. They don't care. You can't intimidate them. They're not ready to die. You can't tax them. You can't take away their money. There's nothing to do with these people because they will wait it out, and they will wait it out. And it becomes more painful, quite frankly, for us here with the midterms coming up in November. So I think Trump ideally would like to really wait this thing out and completely strangle Iran economically. But the truth is they don't care, and Trump can't afford to do that because we'll get walloped in the midterms in November. So with all the, the confident talk from Trump and prices will go right down right away and all that beautiful stuff, the truth is we are stuck, and we've been stuck right now in this war for quite some time.
Let's talk about New York. But before we go to the election results, I never thought, I grew up in New York. I grew up in Queens, New York. I never thought I would live to see the day where you have in Brooklyn, New York, a coffee chain owner and a coffee chain that tells a Jewish elected official, no, Juden, you're not welcome here. I never thought this could happen in New York City. I never thought I'd be hearing some of the things that I am hearing from elected Democrats in New York City. It hurts the heart what is happening here. What do you think these elections and the state of New York City under Mayor Mamdani is sending a message to the rest of the country and to the world? What is that message they're sending?
That message is that Democrats, socialists, and people that don't like Jewish people, and people that don't like capitalism, and people that don't like the cops, they're the people that are now going to be in charge. I mean, if you want to break it down to one word, Paul, I can do it for you, why we're having all these issues, and that one word is Mamdani. You know, a couple of months ago, I went on this tirade against the mayor on Twitter, and I was really doing it because I was aggravated with President Trump, because as much as I love Trump, he continues to say nice things about Mamdani. He's a nice guy. He's not a nice guy. He's a prick. That's what the mayor is. He's a bad guy. He's not a nice guy. But for some reason, Trump continues to say that. He still does it. So I went on Twitter, and I just ripped the mayor into shreds, and I said some things that the next day I decided I was not forced by Katsimatidis or Chad or anybody else. I did get phone calls, mind you, from the Jewish leaders in New York, of all people, that said, what you said wasn't right. So I decided to apologize. I can tell you, Bo, this made world news last night, that Tuesday night, the last night at the conference, I revoked that apology. I am not going to apologize to this guy. This guy's had countless opportunities, time and time again, to prove me wrong, what I said a couple of months ago. And all he does is prove me right, whether it's vetoing buffer zones in front of synagogues and yeshivas, whether it's calling AIPAC a bunch of monsters, talking about Jewish people and dark money. This guy is the epitome of an anti-Semite, and now everybody is scared to death of this guy. That's the word here, fear. Every politician, Bo, is afraid of Mamdani. They're afraid he's going to have them primaried. Look what he did yesterday. All of his candidates won. 4 terrible people. Chevalier, terrible. Valdez, terrible. Brad Lander, terrible. And, of course, Mika Lasher, terrible as well. So these Democrats now, whether it's Chuck Schumer or Kathy Hochul, the most powerful ones in the country, they are scared to death of Mamdani. He has now become the face of not just anti-Semitism and, quite frankly, terrorism in the United States, but the face of a growing progressive socialist Democrat Party.
Last night, while they were watching election results at the Valdez Victory Party, an image on the television screen came up. It was that of the Democrat Party minority leader in the House of Representatives, Hakeem Jeffries. Cut 13. Listen to the reaction when Hakeem Jeffries' picture came up.
You're next! You're next! You're next! You're next! You're next!
Okay, you're next. Should Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries be afraid at this point?
Oh, they should, absolutely. Look, I think Chuck is done anyway. I don't think that Chuck will run again. He's going to face probably AOC, and she's going to wipe the floors with him, Bo. So he's not stupid. He's been doing this a long time. It'll be embarrassing for him. So I don't see Chuck Schumer doing this again. I think he walks off into the sunset. And quite frankly, the last 20 years of his career have been really embarrassing. So Chuck's done anyway. I think Chuck is done no matter what. Hakeem, different story. You know, this guy had his sights set on being the majority speaker, right? If, in fact, the Democrats would win the midterms come November. So he's not as willing as Chuck to just step away, right? He's a young guy. He still is a Democrat. He's got good relationships with a lot of the big Democrats in this party. But not that I like Hakeem Jeffries, but he does push back every now and then on some of these socialist maniacs. So if I was Hakeem Jeffries, I'd be very worried. Again, Mamdani at this point is about the most powerful Democrat. We talk about AOC. She made one for president. She's powerful. That's true. But to me, Mamdani and this DSA, this socialist group, this socialist party, as we saw in New York yesterday, we've seen it in New Jersey, both the last couple of months. We see it in Michigan, all over Michigan. They are gaining power in this country. And it really starts again with anti-Jew, anti-American, anti-capitalism, anti-cop. And that's going to have a lot of people leaving New York City in big numbers. Yesterday, in my opinion, primary day, don't forget, not even election day, because they're going to win those elections too. Yesterday, one of the scariest days in New York in my 59-year lifetime.
Albert Quast won. That's cut 10. Let's listen to her. And, folks, against the words that Sid just said, who is defining the Democrat Party? Cut 10. This is another winner yesterday in New York.
And finding that, the system of capitalism and racism and white supremacy, etc., and Islamophobia have all been used, to colonize lands, right, to take resources from other people. And so this is like a long trajectory. And we're just seeing the manifestations of that continuation, right, with 9/11. And so a lot of times when people are asking us to respond about, attack, right, if you look back, historically, right, a lot of us come from lands that were colonized, lands where wars are being waged, right, a lot of times because of U.S. policy or the policies in Europe. And so I find that we can connect over that, but then also that the idea that we have to apologize for a terror attack that a couple of people did, and then there is no apologies or reparations for genocides and for slavery, etc., is something that I kind of find reprehensible.
These people are winning office.
Yeah, I mean, she's a moron. First of all, the word is etc., not execra. Second of all, the Israelis are not committing genocide, you dumb bastard. Third of all, a couple of people died. We had 1,300 people murdered. And mind you, thousands and thousands of brave IDF Israeli soldiers have died since trying to protect the homeland. And she's part of that group, like Hassan Piker. The mayor was friends with Hassan Piker. That's the bottom line. Hassan Piker sat there on his podcast with Mamdani years ago, and he said these words, Bo, America deserved 9/11. At that point, Mamdani could have stood up and said, hey, Hassan, take it easy. That's not true. He offered zero pushback. Zero. What does that tell me? He agrees with Hassan Piker. And this moron last night, this lady, she said the same thing, that basically colonization and genocide and all these horrible things you do in America is the reason why we deserve 9/11. Think about that for a second. This September, 25 years. I was on the air that day with Imus. In fact, at my Hall of Fame celebration, I think both Deirdre and Wyatt Imus are flying to New York to be a part of it with me, which is a very, very big honor. I was on the air with Imus when that first plane hit. I knew people who died in those buildings that day. To this day, it still breaks my heart. And these animals are winning office, including the mayor in our own city, and they blame us. They blame us for a bunch of radical Islam Muslims flying airplanes into buildings. How in God's name did we get to this place, Bo Snerdley, this terrible, scary place?
For people in New York, older people, that are Jewish, that are living in New York and witnessing this. People old enough to remember what the aftermath of World War II was like. So many people now from the World War II generation are gone. But those people who were young right after World War II, some of them are still alive and now are senior citizens in elderly years. If New York was a safe place for people that had experienced the worst of humanity in the 20th century, not only what happened with World War II and the over 70 million people that are believed to be killed, not 50, 70, and then beyond the horrible things that happened in Ukraine, the horrible things that happened in China. And we're talking about a century of mass death like no other in human history. How do you think these people, Sid, are looking at what is happening in New York? They can't leave. They don't have, many of these people have the economic wherewithal to just pick up and leave. And even if they did, they wouldn't know where we're going at this day. What is it like to be living as a senior in New York watching this unfold?
It's scary, Bo, because we made promises. Never again was the motto after the Holocaust. And never forget was the motto after 9/11. Well, we forgot. Now, look, I know a lot of the kids that are voting today, these morons out of Williamsburg and the Upper East Side, they weren't even born during 9/11. They have no appreciation for innocent Americans going to work in 3 different places and dying that day. I get all that. But there are plenty that were alive and remember it and still do nothing about it. So never forget 9/11. We forgot. Never again the Holocaust. It's happening again. And I heard a lot of people say this yesterday, too, all over the social media platforms, that yesterday's elections in New York City, and I know Judge Weinberger coming up is going to agree with me, yesterday's elections in New York City mirrored what we saw in the 1930s in Germany. So you can imagine these people, if you survive the Holocaust and you're here, or your family is here, and now you're witnessing this type of anti-Jewish rhetoric, this real hatred. It's not a surface thing, Bo. It's real. These people really hate our guts. They want us dead. They want us dead. That's the bottom line. If Mamdani didn't want us dead, then he would demonize the Intifada. He doesn't do that, okay? He wants to globalize the Intifada. That means he wants Jews dead. So when Sid Rosenberg says Mamdani wants Jews dead, and NBC gets upset and CBS gets upset, screw them. When he comes out and he says no on the Intifada, then I'll change my mind and maybe change what I'm saying. But the truth is, it's scary for these people because these politicians are no different than the Nazis were back in the 1930s Germany. Bottom line, it's the same thing over and over again.
Sid, we're going to leave it there. Ladies and gentlemen, the clip of the day is coming up. I want you to hold on. Sid, I just want to tell you one more time how much I love you and how much you mean to me. You are just, please, Sid, just keep being Sid. Please.
Thank you, Bo. I love you. You are so nice to me. I mean it. You're so great. And I play your stuff on my show all the time because it comes from the heart. You're a beautiful guy, tremendous talent, and just one of my favorite people in the world. I mean that, Bo Snerdley. Thank you so much. Really, thank you so much.
Thank you. Safe travels back, Sid. Love you, love you. Hall of Fame broadcaster, ladies and gentlemen. We are so delighted to have had him on the program today. Our very own Sid Rosenberg. Oh, man. Wow. What a thrill. James Golden Snerdley, clip of the day coming up. Do not go away.
The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network. The Rush Hour with James Golden. Entertaining and informative on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
The clip of the day. You want to hear it. It's the clip of the day.
Ladies and gentlemen, the clip of the day comes to us from Representative Ted Lieu of California. It is, well, it's Ted.
Thank you, Chairman Aguilar. Inflation is up. Grocery prices are up. Utility costs are up. Housing prices are up. We have a bipartisan housing bill that both the Congress and Senate passed. There was supposed to be a big signing ceremony today in the Capitol. And then all of a sudden, Donald Trump decides he's not coming to sign the bill. Well, why is that? Did he wake up on the wrong side of the bed? Is he unable to stay awake today? What's causing him to chicken out again? Is it Taco Wednesday? Or is it side effects from a drug? We don't know. This erratic behavior of the president is very concerning. He has trouble staying awake at multiple White House events and cabinet meetings. He has clearly some weakness in one of his arms. He's got swelling in his hands. And the White House needs to come clean. What we know is there's a report saying that one person in America got this special new drug. It was a 79-year-old person who was very high profile. And this drug can only be given to someone under the compassionate use provision, meaning you do that if someone basically has a terminal illness. So we need to know, did Donald Trump get this special drug from Eli Lilly? And did he get it under that provision? And if he did, why is that the case?
I'm sorry. This guy is standing up here trying to convince us that what we have seen for years, Donald Trump on the road, Donald Trump almost never sleeping. The guy makes news all times of day and night when everyone else is sleeping. He's still up making news. He's everywhere. He's overseas 1 week, he's back. He's in Pennsylvania. He's going to Congress today. The reason, by the way, that he didn't go to the ceremony was politics. He said, screw this. I'm not signing this because Republicans are not working hard enough on the SAVE Act. I'll sign it after they get the SAVE Act passed. It's a political move. Instead, we get weird conspiracies from California. Unbelievable. Anyway, Did he get the special drug? Only one person got it. Ever. Folks, Mick Fleet. By the way, Jeff Beck's heavenly birthday today, too. It's Solange somebody's birthday. Niles?
Beyonce's sister?
Yeah, her. Sorry. And Mick Fleetwood's birthday from Fleetwood Mac. Happy birthday, Mick Fleetwood. We're playing some Fleetwood Mac right now. May God bless each and every single one of you, your family, and your loved ones. Love and gratitude, my friends, for your being here with me and allowing me to be with you. God willing, Almighty God, creator of heaven and earth willing, we are back tomorrow for the Thursday edition of Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour, and Princess Diana is scheduled to appear. I cannot wait. Thank you once again to my dear friend, Hall of Fame broadcaster Sid Rosenberg. Love you, Sid. Until, my friends, tomorrow, I bid you adieu. Hope you have a wonderful afternoon. Bye.
Thanks for listening to Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour. You can hear Bo Snerdley's Rush Hour weekdays at 4 on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?